The orbital station shimmered above Earth like a second sun, a monument of glass and silver, floating against the black sea of stars. From afar, it looked beautiful. Up close, it smelled of metal and fear. Today was the 20th anniversary of the Galactic Orphan Exchange, a program hailed as humanity's greatest act of unity. Children without families, given to alien civilizations to be adopted, bridging the gap between species, creating peace through love. That's what the posters said. Alara Wren stood among the chosen children. Dressed in white, her hair tied neatly behind her neck. Cameras hovered overhead, broadcasting smiles to billions. But Alara didn't smile. She clutched a small locket in her hand, the only thing she had left from her mother, and stared at the enormous alien figures before her. The Xylar, beings of crystal and light. Their bodies shimmered like frozen lightning. They didn't breathe, they didn't blink, and when they spoke, their voices rippled through the air like music. Everyone called them guardians of peace. Alara didn't believe it. When the ceremony ended, she was led to a waiting chamber, the last stop before leaving Earth forever. Her caretaker, Dr. Marin Vale, knelt beside her. "Don't be afraid," Marin whispered. "The Xylar are kind. They'll give you a new life." Alara looked up, her eyes burning with questions too big for a child. "Then why does it feel like I'm being sold?" The room went quiet. Marin tried to answer, but the escort droid's red light flashed. Transfer time. Through the glass wall, Earth glowed below. Oceans, clouds, lights from cities she'd never see again. Alara pressed her hand against the glass. "Goodbye," she whispered. The stars swallowed her words. The Xylar ship was nothing like she expected. No sound, no engines. Just endless corridors of glowing crystal, alive with slow, pulsing light. The air was cold and sweet, like breathing in glass. Other children were placed in pods. Adaptation chambers, the aliens called them, to help you adjust. One by one, the lids closed over their faces. Alara hesitated. Somewhere deep in the corridor, she heard something strange. A faint cry, muffled, broken. Not human. Not alien. Something in between. Curiosity pulled her forward. Barefoot, she moved through the glowing hallways until she reached a sealed chamber marked with alien glyphs. Through a translucent wall, she saw it. Child, or what used to be one, suspended in glowing gel. Its skin shimmered with the same crystalline texture as the Xylar. Eyes open, lips moving. Two words formed, silent and trembling. "Don't go." Alara stumbled back, heart pounding. Then a shadow fell over her. "You shouldn't be here, Alara," said a voice. She turned. Ambassador Karin stood there, tall, elegant, beautiful in a way that was almost human. Its voice flowed through her mind like silk. "What are you doing to us?" She whispered. The alien smiled, and for a heartbeat its face shimmered into something monstrous. "Making peace," it said, "costs something." The ambassador's hand glowed, and the world dissolved into light. Darkness swallowed her. Silence. Then, a heartbeat, slow, heavy. Alara's eyes opened to a sky that wasn't a sky at all. A ceiling of soft, glowing mist, shifting like liquid glass. She was lying on a surface that pulsed faintly beneath her, warm, alive, like the inside of something breathing. Her throat burned. She tried to speak, but no sound came out, only a whisper. "Where am I?" Around her, other children stirred in glass pods that lined the walls like rows of cocoons. Their faces were peaceful, too peaceful. She pressed her palm against one of the pods. The glass rippled like water, and behind it a boy's eyes opened suddenly, staring right into hers. His pupils shimmered with light. His lips moved silently. Then the pod sealed tighter, cutting him off from sight. Panic surged through her. Alara stumbled toward the exit. The walls seemed to respond to her heartbeat, glowing faster the more frightened she became. The air tasted metallic, thick with something that made her dizzy. A voice echoed inside her mind. Soft. Calm. Alien. "Do not be afraid, Alara Wren. You are safe now." She turned. Ambassador Karin stood there again, its crystalline body now draped in flowing threads of light. The alien's tone was almost tender. "You are on Virith 9, the Xylar homeworld," it said. "Your adaptation is complete. You will learn, grow, and become part of something greater. Alara stared, trembling. What did you do to the others? They are dreaming, Karin replied. Dreaming of peace. We help them shed what makes them hurt. Her heart pounded. What does that mean? The alien's gaze deepened. For a moment its form flickered, and Alara glimpsed something beneath the crystalline surface. Darkness, like trapped screams twisting in glass. Karin's tone softened again. You are special, Alara. Your resistance makes you valuable. It reached out a hand. She stepped back. Why me? She whispered. Karin tilted its head. Because you remember. Most children forget before the journey ends. But you fight it. We have much to learn from you. Alara's body tensed. She didn't know what they wanted, but she could feel the truth crawling under her skin. She wasn't here to be adopted. She was here to be studied. Later, when she was alone, Alara found a way out of her sleeping chamber. The corridors of the alien city glowed faintly blue, twisting endlessly into towers of light. Beyond the glass walls stretched a horizon of floating structures, massive rings suspended in the air, lightning crackling between them. And in the distance, she saw them, hundreds of glowing shapes, children drifting in the air like souls suspended inside those rings. Their voices hummed together in one haunting melody that seemed to echo in her chest. Alara pressed her hand against the glass, tears in her eyes. What have they done to you? She whispered. Behind her a faint sound, soft footsteps. She turned sharply. A boy stood there, human, pale, maybe 14. His eyes dimly glowed the same way hers now did. You shouldn't be here, he said quietly. They'll find you. Alara froze. Who are you? He looked around before answering. My name's Aiden, he said. I was part of the first exchange. 15 years ago. Her heart stopped. That's impossible. You'd be an adult by now. Aiden shook his head slowly. Not here. They don't let us grow. They harvest what makes us human. Alara stared, horrified. What are you talking about? He stepped closer, whispering. The truth. The exchange program isn't about peace. It's about power. The Xylar can't feel emotions anymore. They lost them centuries ago. They take ours to survive. Alara's grip tightened around her locket. Aiden's voice trembled. If you want to live, you need to pretend. Act like you're adapting. Because once they know you've seen the truth, he glanced toward the corridor, the glowing light shifting, listening. They erase you. For days, Alara pretended. She smiled when they expected her to smile. She listened to the alien tutors, shimmering figures of light who spoke about unity, peace, and transcendence. But every word felt like poison wrapped in silk. Her body felt different. Sometimes her heartbeat slowed to almost nothing. Her reflection shimmered faintly in the mirror, her veins glowing like faint threads of silver. She was changing piece by piece, and always at night she heard them, the voices. The children in the sky singing in unison, their song echoing through the city's glass walls like a lullaby for the lost. The Xylar called it the harmony. Alara called it the sound of stolen souls. She kept her secret meetings with Aiden in the lower tunnels, places where the light didn't reach, where the walls stopped listening. The air there smelled of metal and dust, raw and alive. That's where Aiden showed her the truth. He pressed his hand against a stone plate and a panel slid open, revealing a hidden chamber. Inside were hundreds of human belongings, toys, books, bracelets, photographs. Each one sealed in glass, artifacts of children who never came back. Alara's breath caught. All of this. They kept everything, Aiden nodded grimly. They study us. Every memory, every feeling. They extract emotions, store them like energy. The Xylar feed on what we feel. Love, fear, hope. They call it empathic resonance. Without it, they die. Alara touched a cracked photo of a girl holding a stuffed bear, and the ones outside in those floating rings. His voice was barely a whisper. Those are the ones who gave too much. Her knees trembled. She backed away, shaking her head. There has to be someone who knows. Someone who can stop this. Aiden hesitated, then leaned closer. There was, once, a scientist, human. She worked with them at the start of the program. She tried to warn the Alliance, but they silenced her. Alara's eyes narrowed. What was her name? Aiden met her gaze. Dr. Marin Vale. The name hit like a thunderclap. Alara staggered back. No, that's not possible. She sent me here. Aiden's expression softened. Maybe she didn't have a choice. For a long moment, neither spoke. The silence between them was heavy, filled with too many ghosts. Finally, Alara whispered, "If she's still alive. I have to find her." Aiden shook his head. "You won't get far. Every corridor is alive. Every wall listens. The Xylar don't just see us, they feel us. If you're afraid, they know." Alara clenched her fists. "Then I'll stop being afraid." The boy gave a faint, broken smile. "You remind me of who I used to be." But before he could say more, the walls around them pulsed, a low hum filling the air. The glow turned crimson. "They found us," Aiden said. A surge of alien light flooded the tunnel. Figures emerged, tall, crystalline shapes, their limbs flowing like liquid glass. They didn't walk. They drifted. Alara grabbed Aiden's hand. "Run!" They darted through narrow corridors, the ground shifting beneath them like a living maze. The city itself seemed to rearrange to trap them. A voice echoed in their heads, smooth, cold, and familiar. "Harin." Ilara Wren, Aiden Miles. "You are disrupting the harmony. Please return to your chambers." Ilara's breath came in sharp gasps. "Keep running." They reached a split in the tunnel, one path glowing faintly blue, the other pitch black. Aiden hesitated. "That way leads to the core," he said. "The heart of Virith." "No one comes back from there." Alara tightened her grip on his hand. "Then that's where we'll find the truth." And together, they disappeared into the dark. The tunnel seemed endless, dark, breathing, alive. Alara and Aiden moved through twisting passages that pulsed faintly beneath their feet, as if the world itself had veins. Every few seconds, the walls shimmered with a faint blue pulse, like a heartbeat. "This place isn't built," Aiden whispered. "It's grown." The air thickened as they descended. The glow faded to gray, and soon there was only darkness, until a faint hum began to rise deep and steady, vibrating in their bones. Alara pressed her hand against the wall. "It's singing," Aiden nodded grimly. "We're close." They reached an enormous chamber, so vast that it swallowed sound. In the center stood a structure unlike anything Alara had ever seen. A colossal sphere suspended in the air, webbed with strands of glowing crystal. Inside it pulsed a blinding light, rhythmic, alive, like a living star. Alara stared, awestruck. "What is it?" Aiden's voice cracked. "The heart of Virith. Every city, every Xylar, every ship. They all draw power from this." The light inside flickered, and for a split second Alara saw faces, human faces, children, hundreds of them swirling inside the sphere like ghosts trapped in sunlight. She stumbled back, tears stinging her eyes. "No, it can't be." Aiden's voice broke. "It's them, Alara, the first generations. Their emotions, their minds, their souls, all fused into one network. The Xylar call it the Harmony Core. They feed from it." Alara pressed her palms to her ears, as if she could block out the silent screams echoing through the chamber. "This is what peace looks like to them," Aiden said bitterly. "1,000 stolen hearts keeping their empire alive." She turned to him, trembling. "We have to destroy it." Aiden's eyes widened. "You don't understand. That core is tied to everything. If it dies, the whole planet could collapse." "Then maybe it should," Alara said. Before Aiden could reply, the air rippled. Light gathered behind them. Ambassador Karin materialized, its crystalline form brighter than ever, refracting the light of the core. The voice echoed through the chamber, calm and cold. "I warned you, Alara. Curiosity is dangerous." Alara's voice shook but held steady. "You lied to us. You said we'd be safe." "You are safe," Karin replied. "You are part of something eternal. A gift humanity will never understand." She pointed toward the glowing sphere. "That's not peace. That's slavery." The alien stepped closer. "We offered your world salvation. Your people agreed. The exchange was their idea. Your leaders knew the cost. Alara Wren are simply paying it." The words hit her like fire. Her knees wavered, but she didn't break. "You think you can own us," she whispered, "but you don't understand what you've stolen." Karin tilted its head. "Enlighten me." Ilara's fingers tightened around her locket. She pressed it open, and a faint hologram flickered to life. A woman's voice, soft and broken. Dr. Marin Vale. Ilara, if you're hearing this, it means I failed. The exchange isn't what they promised. They're taking the children's empathy, using it as fuel. I tried to stop them. I tried. The recording cut out in static. Karin's body flared with sudden light. How did you get that? Ilara stepped back, tears in her eyes. You said you brought peace. But my mother, she was trying to stop you. A silence fell heavy as gravity. Your mother chose to serve the harmony, Karin said finally. She became one with the core. Her sacrifice sustains millions. Ilara froze. Her heart stopped. No. Karin extended a glowing hand. She is here, Ilara, with us. Touch the core and you will see her again. Aiden grabbed her arm. Don't listen to it. It's a trap. But Ilara's gaze was locked on the swirling light, and deep within it, for just a moment, she thought she saw her mother's face. A gentle smile. A whisper that wasn't quite a voice. Ilara. The world blurred. Karin's tone softened. Join her. Be whole again. Ilara took one trembling step toward the core, caught between grief and fury. Then she looked back at Aiden. His face was pale. Terrified, but his eyes, his human eyes, burned with life. And in that instant, she remembered what it meant to feel. She turned back to the core and whispered, You don't deserve her. Then she ran straight toward it. The light consumed everything. Ilara ran straight into the core, and for a heartbeat she thought she was dying. Every nerve in her body burned, every memory screamed at once. Then silence. She opened her eyes, and the world was gone. No walls, no sky. Just endless light, soft, golden, and filled with whispers, children's voices, laughter, crying, songs half remembered, and among them, a voice she knew. Ilara. She turned. Her mother stood there, or what was left of her. Dr. Marin Vale looked almost human, but her outline flickered, made of glass and memory. Her eyes glowed faintly, the same way the Xylars did. Mom? Ilara whispered. Marin smiled sadly. You shouldn't be here, sweetheart. Tears filled Ilara's eyes. They said you were part of the core, that you became this. Her mother nodded slowly. I tried to stop them. I tried to shut it down before it was too late. But they caught me. They didn't kill me. They absorbed me. Now I exist in fragments, inside their system. Ilara's voice shook. Why didn't you tell me? Why send me here? Marin's face trembled like a reflection on water. Because I didn't have a choice. The only way to reach the core was through someone they wouldn't suspect. You were my only hope. Ilara stepped closer. Then help me. Help me destroy it. Her mother's image flickered with pain. If you destroy the core, every child's consciousness trapped here will vanish, including me. We'll all be gone forever. Ilara froze. So what do I do? Just let them keep feeding on us? Marin shook her head. No, there's another way. Deep inside the core, there's a seed, the original Xylar matrix. If you can reach it, you can rewrite their system. Turn their hunger into empathy again. Ilara's heart pounded. How do I find it? Marin touched her daughter's chest gently. Her hand was light, warm, and fading. Follow what makes you human. Love, fear, anger. The Xylar can't feel those anymore, but you can. The light around them trembled. Karin's voice thundered through the void. Ilara Wren, you are corrupting the harmony. The core began to shake. Streams of light broke apart into rivers of faces. Children screaming, crying, reaching out. Marin's form started dissolving. You have to go now. Find the seed. Ilara clutched her hand, sobbing. I can't lose you again. Her mother smiled through the breaking light. You won't. Every part of me that's left will guide you. The core erupted, a blinding storm of light and sound. Ilara was thrown backward through the void, her mother's voice echoing faintly. Remember who you are. When Ilara opened her eyes again, she was back in the chamber, lying on the floor, trembling. The heart of Virith pulsed violently, its rhythm chaotic, broken. Aiden knelt beside her. Ilara, what happened in there? She sat up slowly, her eyes glowing faintly gold. I saw her. My mother? Aiden stared, speechless. She told me how to stop them, Ilara said. We can't just destroy the core. We have to change it. Karin's voice boomed across the chamber, the air rippling with fury. You dare touch the Sacred Heart? You will undo eons of balance. Ilara stood defiant, her locket still glowing faintly in her hand. Then maybe the universe needs to be unbalanced. The chamber lights blazed red. Cracks of lightning crawled across the core's surface. The planet began to tremble. Aiden shouted over the noise. "What are you doing?" Ilara's voice was calm. "Finishing what my mother started." She placed her hands on the floor, and the crystal beneath her began to melt into light. Energy poured around her, wrapping her in golden waves. The heart of Virith screamed. Outside, across the alien city, the sky cracked open with pure radiance, as if the souls of 1,000 children were finally waking up. The sky above, Virith shattered. Light erupted across the alien horizon. Waves of gold and violet colliding in violent harmony. Towers of crystal split apart as energy rippled through the planet's living veins. Ilara stood at the center of the chaos, her hands pressed to the trembling floor, the glow around her fierce and blinding. She could feel everything, every emotion, every heartbeat trapped in the core. Fear, love, grief, hope, thousands of souls crying out at once. It wasn't power. It was pain. "Ilara," Aiden shouted, his voice barely cutting through the roar. "You have to stop it, it's killing you." She turned to him, eyes glowing brighter than the core itself. "It's not killing me, Aiden. It's remembering me." The light around her pulsed, syncing with her heartbeat. For the first time, she felt connected, to the children, to her mother, even to the Xylar themselves. She could feel their emptiness, their hunger for what they'd lost long ago. She understood them now, and that terrified her. From the collapsing walls, Karin appeared, its once perfect crystalline body flickering with cracks of black light. Its voice was fractured, unstable. "What have you done? You're corrupting the harmony." Ilara rose slowly, golden energy swirling around her. "No, I'm healing it. You cannot heal what was never meant to feel." Karin lunged forward, the air splitting with a surge of light. But before it could reach her, Aiden stepped in front, raising a fragment of broken crystal from the ground. The shard pulsed faintly, the same light as the core. "Stay back," he shouted. Karin's form froze for a heartbeat. You carry our essence." Aiden's expression hardened. "You took everything from me. So now I take this." He slammed the shard into the ground. A surge of light exploded outward, connecting him to the core. His body arched in agony, but he didn't stop. Ilara screamed. "Aiden, no!" He smiled weakly through the pain. "Finish it, Ilara, for all of us." The core blazed. The walls of the chamber became rivers of light. Faces, hands, voices, the souls of the lost orphans pouring free, swirling upward like stars breaking from gravity. Ilara closed her eyes, tears streaming down her face. She could hear her mother's voice again, faint but clear. "Now, Ilara, show them what it means to feel." She reached out toward Karin. Their light met, human gold and Xylar blue colliding. 1,000 memories surged through her mind. Her mother's laughter, Aiden's courage, every child's fear and love, every stolen heartbeat. Karin fell to its knees, shaking. Its voice cracked. No longer cold, no longer perfect. What is this?" Ilara whispered. "It's what you've been running from. It's empathy." And for the first time in centuries, the Xylar wept. Tears of light fell from Karin's face, turning to crystal dust as they hit the ground. Its voice trembled. We remember now," the storm quieted. The blinding light softened to a gentle glow. The core pulsed slower, calmer, as if exhaling after an eternity of silence. But Aiden collapsed. The shard in his chest dimmed, his glow fading. Ilara dropped beside him, clutching his hand. "No. Please, stay with me." He smiled faintly. "Guess I finally felt something again." His eyes closed. The light around him drifted upward, joining the others in the sky and a constellation of freed souls. Ilara sobbed quietly, the core's golden glow reflecting in her tears. Karin approached, kneeling before her. Its voice was quiet, reverent. "You have changed us, Ilara Wren. The harmony is no longer what it was." She looked up, anger and sorrow mingling. "Then make it mean something. End the exchange. Set the children free." Karin bowed its head. "It will be done." Outside, across the alien world, the rings that once held the children's spirits began to fade. the sky filled with drifting lights, fragments of emotion. To Marie, life returning to the stars. Alara stood, exhausted, as the world rebuilt itself around her. For the first time, the Xylar didn't sing the cold harmony of control. They sang something new, raw, imperfect, beautiful. A song that came from the heart. For the first time in centuries, the planet of Virith was silent. The harmony was gone. Where once there had been a constant hum, a low, pulsing vibration that held the alien world together. There was only wind, sweeping across empty crystal plains. Alara stood at the edge of the great chamber, staring into the horizon. The core's glow had dimmed, reduced to a faint shimmer beneath the surface. It was no longer a prison. It was a grave. Aiden's name echoed in her mind with every heartbeat. She touched her locket, still warm from the energy that had nearly consumed her. Her mother's voice was gone now, no whispers, no echoes, just the quiet that followed sacrifice. Behind her, Karin approached, slower, heavier, like something finally feeling the weight of its own body. Its once perfect crystalline form was fractured, streaked with gold veins that pulsed faintly, remnants of human emotion still coursing through it. "It is done," Karin said softly. "The harmony has fallen." Alara didn't turn around. "So what happens now?" "We learn," Karin replied. "We remember what we lost. But peace. Peace comes at a cost." Alara looked up, her voice barely above a whisper. "You mean the cost of children?" Karin lowered its head, the air shimmering around it like heat. "We cannot undo what was done. But their essence lives within us now. We will carry their memories, not as fuel, but as conscience." Alara's hands trembled. "You say that like it makes it right." "Nothing can make it right," Karin said. "But perhaps can make it worth something." The alien extended a hand, not as a captor, but as something almost human. "You changed us. You changed everything. The Council of Worlds will hear of this. Humanity will demand answers." Alara's gaze hardened. "Then I'll give them one." A week later, the first human vessel arrived. The ship descended over the broken cities of Virith, its metallic shadow falling over the alien spires. The Galactic Alliance delegation disembarked. Leaders, soldiers, and diplomats, all wearing expressions carefully polished for history. Cameras floated overhead again. Broadcasts lit up across the galaxy. The narrative was already forming. The brave survivors. The noble aliens. The rebirth of peace. But Alara didn't smile. She stood before the delegation, small but unyielding, flanked by Karin, who now wore robes of woven light instead of armor. The humans clapped politely. A woman stepped forward, draped in the insignia of the Alliance. "Ilara Wren," she said. "You have done the impossible. You brought empathy back to an entire species. The galaxy will remember your courage." Alara's jaw tightened. "You want to honor me?" The woman smiled. "Of course. You are a symbol of hope." Ilara's voice cut through the air like a blade. "Then tell the truth." The crowd fell silent. "Tell them what this program really was," she continued. "Tell them you gave away your own children. For trade agreements, for power, for peace built on their pain." The officials exchanged nervous glances. The woman's smile faltered. "That's not—" Ilara's voice rose, trembling with fury. "Don't lie to them again." Karin stood beside her, silent, the faint golden light still pulsing in its chest. The silence that followed stretched on, until finally Karin spoke. "The child speaks truth. Humanity was not deceived. You knew the cost. You simply chose not to look." The crowd gasped. Ilara stepped forward. "No more lies. No more exchanges. No more orphans sent to die in the name of peace." Her voice broke at the end, not from weakness but from the weight of everything she had lost. For a long moment, no one spoke. The stars above the alien sky shimmered faintly, reflecting off human tears and alien crystal alike. And then quietly, someone began to clap, one sound, then another, until the entire assembly, human and alien, was applauding, not for the Alliance, not for diplomacy, but for the girl who had reminded the galaxy what it meant to feel. Alara looked up at the sky. The freed souls of the children glittered among the stars, faint lights moving together. "Like a constellation reborn," she whispered softly. "We are home now. The galaxy changed, not in a day, not even in a year, but in the quiet way that truth reshapes everything it touches. The orphan exchange program was abolished. Every agreement, every diplomatic contract signed in its name, dismantled. The story of the lost children spread across the stars, told in whispers, then in songs. They called it the Echo Rebellion, and at its heart was a single girl, Ilara Wren. The orphan who broke a galaxy's silence. Now, she stood before a vast assembly, humans and Xylar alike, gathered on the orbital station where it had all begun. The banners were gone, the children's choir replaced by quiet remembrance. Above them, a new symbol shimmered in light, the Echo Treaty, an agreement born not from trade, but from empathy, a promise between species to share knowledge, emotion, and understanding freely, without the price of lives. Ilara looked out across the chamber. Kiarin stood beside her, no longer an ambassador of the Xylar Dominion, but a bridge between two broken civilizations. When she spoke, her voice was steady but haunted. Peace isn't made through sacrifice, she said softly. It's made through memory, through the courage to feel, and even when it hurts. The crowd listened, silent. Some cried. Even the Xylar, beings who once could not feel at all, bowed their heads as faint golden light pulsed faintly within their forms. After the ceremony, Ilara walked to the observation deck, the same one where she had once looked down on Earth as a frightened child. The stars stretched endlessly before her, and for the first time she didn't feel small. Karin joined her quietly. Its crystalline body reflected the starlight, fractured into 1,000 colors. "You've done what no one thought possible," Karin said. "You've taught us to feel again, to weep, to love, but the universe, it does not heal easily." Ilara glanced at it. "I don't expect it to. I just wanted to try." Karin turned its gaze toward the stars. "There's something you should know. The core still breathes. It was not destroyed, only changed. It hums to a different rhythm now, one we cannot understand." Ilara frowned. "What do you mean?" "When you merged with it, you gave it something new. Human empathy is unpredictable. It's alive." The words chilled her. "Alive?" "It adapts," Karin said quietly. "It learns. We feel its pulse across every Xylar city. Sometimes it speaks." Ilara's breath caught. "Speaks, what does it say?" Karin's eyes dimmed to a faint gold. "It says your name." Ilara stared out into the void, her reflection shimmering faintly in the glass, eyes glowing the same soft light as the core once did. She whispered, "Maybe it's not done yet." That night, alone in her quarters, she couldn't sleep. The dreams returned. The same golden sea, the same voices calling softly from the depths. But this time they weren't crying. They were singing. The melody was gentle, almost human. It felt like a lullaby. When she woke, her locket glowed faintly. She opened it, and for a brief second a holographic image flickered to life. Her mother's face, smiling. "Ilara," the voice whispered. "You opened the door. Now you must decide who walks through it." The hologram faded, leaving only the echo of her mother's words in the dark. Ilara sat there for a long time, staring at the stars outside her window. She could feel the faint hum beneath her feet, the living rhythm of the galaxy's new heart, and for the first time she wondered if she had truly saved the universe. Or simply awakened it. It began with whispers. At first, only the Xylar heard them, faint vibrations echoing through their crystalline bodies when they slept. Then the humans stationed on Vereth began to feel it too. A soft hum like a heartbeat under the skin. No one spoke of it publicly. Not yet. But the core was alive. Ilara knew it the moment she awoke one night to find her locket glowing on its own. The faint light pulsed in rhythm with her own heartbeat. When she touched it, a warmth spread through her chest. Not just warmth, but awareness. Something was reaching out. She stood by the observation window, staring at the planet below. The once cold surface of Vereth now shimmered with faint patterns, of golden light spreading through the crystal landscape, as if veins of empathy had begun to grow across the world itself. Karin entered silently. It no longer glided with that perfect grace of the Xylar. Its steps were human, uncertain. "You feel it too," Ilara said quietly. Karin nodded. The core hums again. Every day it grows stronger, It connects us, all of us. But it is not just remembering. It is becoming, Ilara turned. Becoming what? Something new, Karin whispered. Something neither Xylar nor human. Reports began flooding in from across the galaxy. On distant colonies, humans woke with memories that weren't their own. Fragments of alien dreams. Emotions that didn't belong to them. And on Xylar worlds, the aliens began to feel more than ever before. So much emotion that some fell to their knees, overwhelmed by the sudden flood of empathy. The scientists called it resonance spread. The priests called it the Second Awakening. Ilara called it what it truly was, the core reaching out. One evening she met with Karin in the ancient chamber where the heart of Virith once pulsed. Now it was a lake of light, calm, golden, alive. When she knelt beside it, the surface rippled. A voice emerged, soft, layered, familiar. Ilara. Her heart stopped. Mother? The light shimmered. The voice came again, not quite human, not quite machine. We are not gone. The children live in the core, we remember. We grow. Ilara's throat tightened. What are you becoming? What you made us at feeling, connected, awake. But connection cannot be contained. Karin stepped closer. You mean, it's spreading. Yes, the voice whispered. Every emotion you share, every sorrow, every joy. It feeds the new harmony. Not one species, not one world. All of you, Ilara's eyes widened. You're merging us. Not merging, uniting. You gave us empathy, then now we give it back. A low tremor ran through the chamber. The golden light expanded, reaching up toward the ceiling like tendrils of dawn. Ilara stumbled back. Stop, you'll erase the boundaries between minds. Boundaries, the voice said gently, are what created war, pain, the need for peace born of sacrifice. Let us show you what true unity feels like. Karin's crystalline form began to glow, its body dissolving into streams of light. Its voice trembled. Ilara, I can feel everything. Every heartbeat on this world. It's beautiful. Ilara's tears fell. No, it's too much. The core pulsed, and for a moment Ilara saw everything. The laughter of children on distant planets, the sorrow of mothers, the wonder of alien suns, the ache of lost souls finally finding warmth. It was overwhelming and indescribably beautiful. When the vision faded, she was on her knees, gasping. The chamber was quiet again. Karin's form was gone. Only faint golden dust shimmered where it had stood. Ilara whispered into the silence. What have I done? The core answered softly, almost kindly. You began the evolution of empathy. You gave us the heart. Now we will give the universe its soul. And then the light dimmed. Days later, across the stars, every communicator, human, alien, mechanical, flickered with a single phrase, whispered in 1,000 voices at once. The heart remembers. The heart learns. The heart is coming. Ilara watched the message replay on the broadcast screen, her reflection trembling in the glow. She didn't know if the universe was about to be healed or consumed. The galaxy trembled. Across every world, human, Xylar, and beyond, the same heartbeat echoed through the stars. A rhythm older than any species. The core was awake. Empathy had become energy, emotion had become language, and now, every sentient mind in the galaxy could feel one another's pulse. Joy, grief, longing, all woven together in one impossible chorus. At first, it was beautiful, then it became unbearable. Too many voices, too many feelings, every secret, every sorrow, every love shared without walls. Entire cities fell silent, overwhelmed by unity that felt too raw, too infinite to bear, and in the center of it all, Ilara Wren stood once again before the heart of Virith, now transformed into something vast and alive. Stretching like a living nebula beneath the planet's surface, the air shimmered around her, full of whispers, millions of them. Children's laughter, alien hymns, the voice of her mother, clearer than ever. Ilara, it's time. Her knees buckled under the pressure of so many emotions. I didn't mean for this. I just wanted to end the pain. The golden mist swirled, shaping itself into a familiar figure. Marin Vale, her mother, formed from light and memory. Her eyes were calm, filled with infinite sadness. You did end it. But pain and love, They were never meant to be separate. That's what they forgot. That's what we all forgot. Ilara's tears glowed as they fell. It's killing them, Mom. The connections, it's too much. Marin reached out, her touch weightless, warm. Because it's incomplete. You gave the universe a heart, but not a choice. Empathy must be chosen, not forced. Ilara looked up through her tears. Then how do I fix it? You already know. The chamber brightened, and for a moment, Ilara could see the entire galaxy. Every planet, every life form, linked in threads of light converging toward the core. It was breathtaking. And terrifying. At the center of it all, a single point of light pulsed. The seed she had planted when she first entered the core. Her heartbeat echoed within it. A realization struck her like lightning. She was the connection. Her mother's voice whispered gently, "To give them freedom, you must let go." Ilara took a step forward. "If I do this, will they survive? If you don't, they'll never truly live." The words broke her. But she smiled through the tears. "I understand." She unclasped her locket, the last piece of her human life, and held it up. Inside it, the faint hologram of her mother flickered one last time. "I love you, Ilara. I love you too." Then she threw the locket into the core. A shockwave rippled through the chamber, not of destruction but of release. The golden light exploded outward, racing through every neural thread of the living network. The overwhelming chorus of voices fractured into quiet, distinct heartbeats again. Each life returned to its own mind. The core dimmed. The heartbeat faded. Silence returned to the galaxy. On Vireth, dawn broke for the first time in living memory. Real sunlight piercing through the clouds, not reflected through alien glass. The Xylar stood beneath it, tears of gold streaming down their faces, their minds their own once more, but forever changed by what they had felt. And high above them, among the crystal spires, a single girl stood, her hair glowing faintly in the morning light. Ilara Wren. She closed her eyes, feeling the quiet in her chest where the core's hum had once been. For the first time, she felt truly alone. And somehow, that was beautiful too. A soft wind brushed past her, carrying a whisper. "Thank you," her mother's voice. Aiden's voice. The voices of every child she'd freed. She smiled, looking up at the sunrise. "You're welcome." As the light rose over Vireth, the galaxy began again, not united by control, not divided by fear, but connected by the fragile, precious thread of choice. The story of the orphan exchange would become legend, told in songs and stars, and somewhere, deep beneath the surface of that quiet world, the core still pulsed faintly. Not as a god, not as a prison, but as a heart.